Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this edition of the Weekend Wrap Up, the news that matters here on Shelbyville Now. It is December the 20th. Josh, we're getting close to Christmas.
We are very close to Santa Claus sliding down the chimney.
Yeah, and some Santa Clauses, well, never mind. I'm not even going to say that. At first, they won't fit. But anyway, we
Depends on the size of your chimney.
It's exactly right. But we want to dive into some stuff that's happened. Lots happened this week, Josh. And
this was one of my busier weeks in a long time. I had something happen every day this week. So we got a lot to talk about. We're going to have to fly through it.
And if you started the week out and said, this is what we'll be talking about, some of it changed.
A lot
changed.
A lot of news happened.
So let's take a break here from our sponsors. And when we come back, we'll dive into this.
Yep.
We'll be right back.
Thanks.
Now available at Auto Collection. We currently have 2 excellent vehicles in stock, both with clean titles and in great condition. 2015 Ford Escape, 119,000 miles. 2021 Nissan Altima, 60,000 miles. Whether you're looking for a dependable SUV or a modern, fuel-efficient sedan, these vehicles offer quality, reliability, and value. Visit us at Auto Collection 319, Madison Street, Shelbyville. Call us today. 931-492-4663. Schedule your test drive and let us help you find the right vehicle for your needs.
Get the results you want with the personalized service you deserve at Dennis Young Insurance Agency.
As a local independent agency, we offer coverage from several different companies, including Erie. So whether it's auto, home, life, personal, or business, we can find the right coverage to meet your unique insurance needs. And with a rate lock advantage, your rates won't go up as long as you do not change drivers, autos, or addresses. Contact us at Dennis Young Insurance Agency, insuring Shelbyville and surrounding areas since 1988.
Ready to upgrade your space? At Extreme Flooring in Shelbyville, we've got you covered. From carpet and hardwood to luxury vinyl, tile, and waterproof flooring. We also handle kitchen backsplash and bath remodels. Our design and sales team will help you find the perfect fit with trusted brands like Dreamweaver, Shaw, Mohawk, Dull Tile, and Tile Bar. And their certified installers make sure everything looks just right. Stop by and see us at 225 Colorado Boulevard in Shelbyville or give us a call at 931-735-6700. Financing is available. Schedule your consultation today at extreme-flooring.com. Let's make your home amazing.
All righty. We're back in here with the news that matters here on the Shelbyville Now Weekend Wrap-Up Show. Josh, go ahead and dive in. We've got a lot to chew on today.
We got a lot to chew on. We're going to move kind of quick. I'm just going to run in chronological order because, a lot of this is bigger than others, but so much we're just going to run from start to finish of the week. Monday morning, city met for the pre-planning meeting, the meeting before the meeting about new development coming into the city of Shelbyville. Number of items on that agenda. Some are more interesting than others. First item that we had was 14 acres on West Jackson Street. You may or may not know that is the home of Tyson, where the chickens go to die.
That's right. That's it.
This is the 14 acres right next to Tyson, and somebody has bought those 14 acres, which are all in the floodplain, and would like to build 9 duplexes.
In the floodplain.
This is kind of reminiscent of Coney Island Road to me, which we've talked about quite a bit. So it'll be interesting to see what direction this goes. So a lot to be discussed there. We'll know more as it moves through the planning process. I know I feel like there probably will be some concerns about that, but I know there was already one neighbor that came and spoke about it. And they expect actually to even hear from Tyson, possibly speaking on this, as it's adjacent to their property. I would just say, as someone that lives several miles from Tyson, I don't feel like I would like to live next door to the chicken place.
Would be a good spot, would it, Josh? Not your prime location.
Would feel like possibly in the hot summer months when I stood on my back porch, I might get a whiff of something.
Yeah, so just a whiff.
Just a general comment. Living several miles away, and we get that far away when the wind blows up from the south. So
it's several dozen miles. Can also
you can get still a whiff pick it up. You can still pick it up. So just saying.
I know. Yeah, I'm a long way from it.
You're a long way.
Still get a whiff.
Okay. Second item on the agenda. This was something I teased last week. Actually, I got a couple calls after last week's show saying, hey, what in the world is going to go on at pre-planning that you were talking about last week that we couldn't talk about before now? And this ties into actually a story that we posted on Monday about Duxon out in the industrial park. They have come to the city, and this is now public because the application, and it's been through pre-planning. They are asking to expand. This is a storage expansion. They're requesting to put in, it's somewhere between 7 and 8 acres of concrete behind the building, which will have acres of concrete.
We're not talking about square feet. We're talking acres.
Acres. This is in acres, 7 or 8 acres of concrete behind the facility. It would have over 200 parking spaces. I believe it's in the 220 is the number, if I remember off the top of my head. And each of those spaces would allow them to park a trailer of finished electrolyte, ready to go to market.
Acid.
You could call it battery acid. Honestly, I don't know if it's acidic. We've never gotten the actual makeup of the finished chemical, but it is. We've got all the ingredients.
Mystery powder.
This will be liquid. This will be mystery liquid. But it would be in trailers ready to hook up to a truck. It would be in a that type of a chemical trailer.
And how many jobs would this produce, Josh? Do you know?
No more than they currently have.
Just basically.
This would be storage of finished electrolytes outside, surrounded by a chain link fence. So 7 or 8 acres worth. So I feel as though, and this is why I mentioned it last week, I feel as though there's going to be some public clamor about this. I don't feel like people are going to like this necessarily.
Don't get me started, Josh. I'm just sitting here being good.
So
right
I'm just reporting what that is the request.
So that's the request.
They have officially sent that in as an application to the city.
Okay.
They are zoned. Here's where you get into problems with these kind of things. They are zoned I-3. That is the appropriate zoning for this type of operation. We know where they're located in relation to our hospital and our jail and all that, but they are zoned correctly. So this will be something that probably will fit within the zoning law. The question will be, is there any kind of a TDEC or EPA oversight that will be involved in this? And that I do not know yet. So, and the city does not know that yet either. So,
all right. So you basically, this is the pre-planning meeting. Yeah. So our planning we'll get this the next time they meet.
It is scheduled to be on an agenda, a public agenda, recorded and live streamed in January. Yes, unless it gets deferred or delayed some way. But it's currently on the schedule to show up in January. So and I'll definitely be there. I'm at those meetings, so we'll see what happens in January or in the interim. A couple other items on the agenda, not nearly as exciting as that, but they are putting in a kind of a rehab facility, 16-bed facility on Old Nashville Dirt Road. That's going in behind Livingstone's Church there.
Okay, now is that associated with Livingstone's Church, or is it a separate facility?
There seems to be a little bit of a connection, but it's not them necessarily doing it. They seem to be working together, though, because there was some collaboration on utilities and like so. And then the property on Richdale Lane that which is right off Fairfield Pike there, close to the bypass. The developer had come in a couple months ago, attempted to get it rezoned to R3 for smaller lot sizes. That rezoning got turned down by the city council, and he's come back, and now he's able to develop it as R2, bigger lot sizes. So 58 acres, 132 single-family homes. I would expect that'll be on an agenda at some point for planning, but it meets our current zoning regulations, so I think it will probably happen at some point. So,
okie dokie.
So more houses, but bigger lots in that case. Those are 10,000 square feet lots.
There's something also to look at, and I know that the Planning Commission doesn't really consider this, but the person that's going to be investing money in this type of stuff has to take a look at our current situation here. And Bo and I talked about this Thursday. He did a lot of research. I did a lot of research, and basically the consensus among those people like Zillow and National Association of Realtors and some of the data points, Redfin, they all suggest that we've cooled down here in Bedford County and we're more stable.
Right.
And prices, inventory is going up, prices starting to slide down slightly. And I think, and I've talked to a couple of real estate people that are actually, they've been concerned about the local slowdown because it's been such a big flurry for the last 5 years.
Right.
Now they're like, well, we think this could be a 6-year slump that we're going through, but it's just actually going to be more stable and prices coming back down, inventory increasing, and then when those prices come down, it'll spur on buying a little bit.
Yeah. Now the other thing that could happen, and just on a bigger macro scale, is I think we're looking at changing our Fed chairman at the federal level. If we get a new Fed chairman in that starts dropping interest rates really aggressively, and you start seeing mortgage rates drop,
that'll help some.
That will spur movement there as well. You
But
don't necessarily need the
yeah.
price drop if you've got the mortgage rates dropping, because
Yeah.
people are still looking at a smaller payment.
There was a one figure that I found. I don't know if Bo found this or not. That Bedford County and this area, this region, not just Bedford County, but the surrounding area, the rural area that's not like Murfreesboro or Nashville, that area of several counties on average is 23% overpriced based on their estimations and comparisons.
Okay.
So we have a little bit of
A little room
adjustment,
to-
and then when
a
that
little room to
happens, I
cool
think
off.
this will pick back up.
Yeah.
Once it stops.
So
But anyway, those people that are making these moves now, I don't think they're going to start building immediately. I mean,
they may
if they're
not.
looking
Yeah,
at
they
the
may hold
data,
on
they're
to
not.
these
Yeah.
lots and wait till the market.
So
picks
that's
up
a
little
question
bit.
for you. If that once it's changed, Josh, it's not going to be changed back. You don't have to come back and renew your request of it's there. Once you get it approved, the zoning changes, it's there.
Well, and this one is already zoned correctly. So if they move forward with a plat on this property, which would be the next step past this, they get what's called vested rights, and they have 3 years to begin construction.
And after
So
3 years, they have to reapply.
after 3 years,
Okay.
we've only had one ever, and actually it happened within the last 6
Yeah.
months. We had one neighborhood that they went past the vested rights. They came back and asked us if we would extend it.
And it's no.
And the reason
Yeah.
you don't want to extend it in that case, and the reason we didn't in this one, is usually, hopefully in 3 years, you've upped your standards.
Right,
We had
right.
changed our standards, the development that had been
Yeah, I remember
approved.
us talking about it
Yeah,
here on
4
the
years
show.
earlier, you don't want
Yeah.
coming in anymore. So we made them reapply. So that was it on the pre-planning. For the most part, there were some other small things that nobody would be interested in. So Tuesday, went to a lot of meetings. We started at the Financial Management Committee. That's the county committee at 4:15. This was on a different date than normal because of the holidays. Only thing I wanted to point out, data point I got there, is that sales tax made a big jump back in November. We talked about the October
Yeah.
numbers. We'd had a drop, which seemed significant at the time, over 100,000. But in November, we actually ended up 278,000 to the good. So year to date, we're up in the county $236,000 on sales tax. So the increasing cost of things is continuing to bring in more tax revenue.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly right.
yeah, people are still finding a way to buy things
Yeah.
even at the higher prices. Right after that was the county committee meetings. These are the 3 standing committees. The one right off the top was Rules and Legislative. That is the only one of the 3 I made it to because it went almost an entire hour
Right.
long. Started off with a lot of discussion around the Wastewater Advisory Committee.
Yeah.
This was one we covered extensively
Right.
last week. Just looking at the way things turn out, nothing really changed in this rules meeting other than they kind of reiterated what we talked about.
Yep.
This is supposed to be a 7-member committee. They're going to keep it as a 7-member committee. It seems like it's moving in the direction of live streaming. We'll see when the next one happens.
Well,
they
that's
do or
what the
not,
commission
but
voted to do.
They did. The commission voted originally to live stream it. So it seems like they're going to find a way to do that. I don't know what that way is yet. And there's a lot of just discussion of live streaming in general. And some of the discussion was, if we're going to start picking and choosing meetings, probably we should just live stream them all.
Okay.
So, and I'm
for it.
I'm okay with that. Now that is probably going to lead to a budget change that will need to happen at the next budget.
It won't
at the
be
county,
massive.
so.
It won't be massive though. That's the thing. And you
Yeah.
know what? This transparency and this full disclosure costs a little bit. Let's do it.
I think that's the way we're going to go in the next budget. We'll see, but that's that was definitely a discussion. And then the reason I was there is my good friend Commissioner Eric Maddox invited me along to help him as he presented to this Rules and Legislative Committee the idea of implementing a senior property tax freeze for Bedford County, which is something that I had already discussed with the city council a couple weeks before. Just a very brief discussion there. We had a little more extensive one here at the county meeting. The video is on our Facebook. You can go watch the video if you want to see what we presented.
Very good presentation.
Well, thanks. Lot still needs to happen before that could be voted on, I think. I had a good conversation Friday morning. I went and met with Rhonda Clinton at the property assessor's office. We had a good talk about what it would entail for her office. I previously met with Tanya, the trustee. I had phone conversations this week with 3 other offices in other counties that already have this in place, 2 other property assessors and 1 other trustee in the state, just to kind of get a feel for what it did to them as far as staffing. Was this a nightmare? You know, got some ideas from a couple of them on better ways to implement this. So the hope is, and just a hope at this point, but you know, sometimes all you got's hope, is that at next month's committee meetings for the county, that we can come back to this committee again. I won't be as rushed where I've got to run down the hill and speak at that point and be on the city council, and see if we can't get a group together, call it whatever you want. This doesn't need to meet for an extensive period of time. Just like our trustee, our property assessor, probably our finance director, a commissioner or 2, to just study this and bring it back to the committee with a recommendation of, hey, we think this is a good idea. We think this is a bad idea. Here's why we think this is a good idea. Here's why we think it's a bad idea. Here's some numbers that you can look at. And then hopefully I would like to have that committee vote on and send it up to the full commission. I think this is an idea that deserves, you know, a good consideration and deserves to come up to a vote. It came to the county commission about 4 years ago. Actually, I was looking this weekend. You and Brent Smith had done a video about this exactly 4 years ago. It showed on Facebook. And at that point, it never even got up to the commission for a vote. It died off somewhere in the discussion and committee process. It just died off and never went anywhere. So there are, like anything.
This is a no-brainer, Josh. This should be unanimous. Okay, let's just face it. This, you want to help Granny. Okay, and this is not elimination. There's a lot of people think, oh, you're just not going to pay. No, it's just a freeze. Stop it where it is.
It freezes the taxes where they're at. It is not any kind of a handout of any kind. Now, we've had a couple different directions of pushback. Some of the pushback we've seen in the comments has been, hey, this isn't enough. We should stop taxes.
I agree with that. I agree, but we can't do that.
That's not a tool we have. We can only work with the tools we have. This particular freeze required a constitutional amendment. A constitutional amendment doesn't just fall out of the sky. That required a vote by the legislature. That required
2006.
2006. This was.
And how many years later are we talking about this?
19 on my calendar.
19.
So almost 20 years ago. So this is, you know, the tool that we have. The other tool that we have is senior tax relief. And I want to go ahead and make a correction here while we're talking. I spoke at this committee and mentioned that we were giving the maximum amount to tax relief. I'd heard in a previous meeting that this had come up for discussion, that we were given a full, I think the words were used, a full match of the state's portion. I found out this week in doing more research that there is no limit on that tax relief. We could double again what we're giving. However, that tax relief program that we're on now only hits those with an income of $37,000 and below. Right. So it hits the narrowest possible margin of seniors. The tax freeze, we've got a couple more income levels we can go.
Josh, I wish the conversation would change in the way we describe this. The government is not giving anything to anybody. They're just not taking as much.
They're not taking as much money.
Okay, and that's what people need to understand. It's like, well, you're going to take it from me and give it to, no, we're just not taking as much from them.
Right.
We're freezing it.
We're freezing it. And
the aid is like actually a reduction.
Yeah. And some of the discussion I had, you know, with some people this week was also that the tax relief helps seniors every year. That's true until that 1 year that we get the tax increase, which, you know,
it's coming.
We're not going for another 10 years with no tax increase.
It's coming soon.
It's coming probably sooner rather than later. And the 1 year you have that tax increase, even the seniors that are on the current tax relief program, their taxes will go up without this property tax freeze. That tax relief program and I've not gotten the final number yet. This is more research I've still got to do with the trustees office. Is somewhere in the neighborhood just a couple $100 a year.
Yeah.
So if you do another 20% tax increase, our last one was 18%, you're raising seniors' taxes on a $300,000 house. You're raising it $400 or $500. You're getting them $200 and a couple $100 back in tax relief, but their price still went up, and they've still now got to make a decision between their prescription drugs.
Exactly. And that seems,
so.
that might, to some people, that might not seem like a big deal. Okay. But it is a big deal to people that are living on a fixed income. And $400 or $500 increase on a property tax that they've had their house paid for 25, 30, some of them 40 years. And now they're still having to pay this. And this keeps going up. Josh, I'm going to say this is urgent. And I think it needs to get passed before May. Because
it needs to happen in the spring because of budget season anyway.
Yes, because when it comes, Josh, it's coming.
Right.
I think
it is. And the other argument was from people that aren't seniors, that are younger. They say, hey, I don't want to pay for Granny. I don't want to, I don't want to help the seniors.
It's not
out
cool
with
to
my
hate
tax.
Granny, I'm telling you.
I don't want to help. I don't want to help out with my tax money. But honestly, your seniors, it's like anything. It's prioritization. Your seniors are paying for your school system. They don't have kids in the school
I got to
system.
address this.
Yeah.
Steve George says this, and we're getting this comment a lot.
Yeah.
I think it would be better to relax all seniors making $100,000 or less, but county would lose too much money to do that. And not really, no. But it's not up to our county, Steve. It's up to the state. It's a state law. So there is a push right now to get. There's a guy, I think out of Columbia. I'm going to do some research on this, that he's actually wanting to eliminate property taxes on everybody over 65. That's what he's trying to do. I don't think it'll pass, but I think he's trying to do that. But I think he's also secondary going to raise this limit of the 61,000 to closer to 100,000. He's trying to do that as a secondary.
And that's all going to happen at the legislature.
State. And the point is, it's nothing that the county can do.
Yeah.
You got two options, the 61,000 and the lower option.
Yeah, you got something in the low 40s, something in the low 60s. Both of those, I believe, adjust on a cost of living deal every year.
Right.
So they change from year to year. That's the 2025.
Okay. And right now, you made the statement the other night in your presentation. There's 700 folks right now taking advantage of
roughly 700 taking care of the relief. So yeah, and the way Commissioner Maddox presented, and this was my recommendation to him, was to go ahead this year and go in at the lower number. And that's more to help the offices that are going to have the additional workload, get them to where we've got the same 700 or 800 seniors doing both programs, then revisit this in 12 or 24 months and jump up to the second number. Ideally, I want to be at the higher number for sure, but I also understand we don't want to overwhelm our trustees and our assessor's office with, more seniors than they can help. We don't want a bunch of seniors standing in line, waiting for hours to try to get help at one of these offices.
Yeah, for sure. But I think overall, I think you're going to see the majority of people are for this, Josh, and they would even be for the hire immediately, probably.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
The vast number of the feedback we've gotten has been positive. Yeah, and the post that we did with the video, we've gotten several hundred responses, and it's been seen over 25,000 times now. So it's gotten a fairly wide reach.
And we've got somebody that wants to join us.
We do?
Yes, we do.
Okay. Somebody on speakerphone, huh?
Yep.
Hey, Dave Thomas.
All right, Commissioner Eric Maddox is joining us now.
You are live on the phone.
You are live, Commissioner Eric Maddox.
Well, there you go. Well, guys, I just wanted to say I appreciate the opportunity this morning. I also want to just say a special thank you to Councilman Josh Blevins for what he does for the community, and he's just done a great job, and especially with this situation that we're working on. I mean, I think that we need to absolutely take care of our most vulnerable folks in the county. And that, of course, we're talking about our senior citizens. And I just wanted to also say that it's been an overwhelming positive response from a lot of the folks that have called in. Over the last couple of days, I've received a lot of positive communication. It seems like that a lot of folks in the county want to move this forward. So I'm just looking forward to working on it more with Mr. Councilman Josh Blevins, and it's pretty obvious that guy is just extremely intelligent, and he always has. I've known him since I was 14 years old. He's always been that way. So, and he's always been a hard worker, and obviously that's paying dividends right now as we try to put all this together. So I just want to say kudos to Josh, and sincerely, I appreciate him a lot, and I think hopefully here soon, at the beginning of the year, we can move this to a vote and finally do the right thing by our most vulnerable senior citizens. So thank you again.
Thanks for calling in, Eric. Would you like to say anything back, Josh?
No, just appreciate Commissioner Maddox helping me out on the county side of the government. And I think this is more of what we need in Bedford County, is the city and the county working together rather than being at odds and fighting in a courtroom. I think if we would just sit down and work together on some of these things, we could get more accomplished for our citizens.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right. Well,
more of this, less fighting.
That's it. Exactly.
Yeah.
Commissioner Maddox, thanks for calling in, or actually thanks for letting us call you to get you on here.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys, for all you do. Wonderful show, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's good to hear from Commissioner Maddox this morning, because he's right in the middle of this with you, and he's getting a lot of feedback, as I have been getting a lot of feedback, Josh.
Yeah.
It's all
and
positive.
I have too. Yeah.
It's really, I mean, it's actually, it's like people say, let's do more. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you can only do what the state's going to allow you to do.
Right. Yeah. I wish we could do more.
And there is one point here
Yeah.
that Chuck Glover brings up. He says,
Yeah.
starting low is just going to accelerate the next tax increase. Got to get more before the freeze.
I'm okay with
Yeah,
starting at the
yeah.
at the higher number. So that definitely is going to require more planning from the department heads that are involved, and that's more collaboration. We need that anyway.
But here's the thing, Josh, and this is, I think that everybody sitting in those offices up there, they understand they're public servants and they're wanting to help.
Yeah.
So I think the majority of folks that are going to be doing the work will be happy to do it, and especially when you have an overwhelming, hey, let's do this. I think they'll be on board fine with it, Josh. I think it's going to be okay.
I'm optimistic.
I am too.
We will see come January. So, and with that, that meeting went to 5:56, and then I ran really quick down the hill, like a flash, to City Council. I snuck in just after the prayer. I didn't quite get there in time for the prayer, but I got there before roll count, so I was counted as present. Okay. And we had several things on the agenda. I want to cover them real quick. We annexed several properties on 231, and then also some off the bypass there at Fairfield Pike. Yeah. We've discussed those before. All of those properties got approved to a C2, which is a commercial zoning, except for one. One had been requested to go to R4, which is multifamily or apartments, and we did deny that rezoning. So that property will come in and will be part of the city as R1, which is single family homes.
Okay.
So there was a change voted on unanimously to the city charter, which that doesn't happen very often. What's going on there, for people that didn't follow the wording, maybe what was on the agenda, we are changing the membership of the power board that oversees Shelbyville Power, Water, and Sewer, which is kind of a government, quasi-government entity, I guess. They're under the city, but they're not. We don't run them. They run themselves, and they have a separate board, but the council sets up the makeup of that board, and we have decided to put 2 city council members on that board. Previously, it was 1 city council member and the city manager. So there was some feelings from some, and this made a little bit of sense. The city manager is hired and fired by the city council. So if he's sitting on that board, he's only going to do what the city council wants him to do. Might as well just have a city council member there anyway. So he's a little bit conflicted, more so than a city council person who's an elected position. So yeah, so that was the change there. There was a change, and I wanted to explain this one, because this one, it didn't bother me what happened. We like to talk about transparency, and this is one that if we don't talk about it, nobody's even going to know this happened. We made a change to the city insurance policy. Back in this
you're talking about health insurance?
For the city. And this positively influenced me, and that's why I want to talk about it for a second, because people say, oh, politicians, they always only vote for themselves. And I want to explain what happened and why we went this direction. Back when I came onto the city council, city council members are on the city health
Right.
insurance policy, but I asked to put my wife on there because she doesn't work outside the home at my cost. I would, pay
Right,
the
right.
premiums. And I was told at that time that the city policy doesn't allow that it was a Blue Cross thing. So, which I thought was odd.
That is odd.
So I did not pursue it. This, somebody else, actually pursued this and looked into this. And the reason that policy was in place was because a previous insurance broker that the city had wasn't keen on the idea of city council people being on there to begin with, and had put in a bunch of rules about not being able to add dependents onto their policy. So they had just assumed that was the way that Blue Cross was.
Right.
They went back and got with Blue Cross, and they said, no, I mean, as long as the policy is being paid for, they'll
Yeah,
take any
exactly,
customer they get
exactly.
the policy,
Hey, the more insurance premium they get, they'll take it.
the better.
Yeah.
So this change allows city council people, which I'm one, and also what are called, and I don't remember the particular word, charter officers, people that are not necessarily full-time employees of the city,
Right.
but they're part of the charter. They're in
Well, like
city
the mayor,
government.
The mayor.
Yeah, stuff like
Include
that.
that, yeah.
Elected officials to add a dependent onto their policy as long as they're paying which I
Right,
am,
paying
as
the
long as I'm
premium.
paying
Yeah.
premium. So that was the change. It does positively influence me. I was not behind
Does not
getting
cost
this
the
on the
city.
agenda.
No. Does not cost the city.
Honestly, it does, because if you've got additional people on there, there is some cost for the city involved with this.
Well,
So,
the
but I'm-
payroll, the deductions.
there's stuff
whatever.
going on there,
that's-
yeah.
But
I just
it's
want to be
not-
clear, because this
Yeah.
positively, I don't like people sliding stuff through, and somebody's going
Yeah.
to come back and look at this in 3 years and say, man, he slid one through it.
Yeah.
I wasn't behind. I did vote for it because it doesn't just affect me. It affected
a lot of
several
other
other
people. Yeah.
city employees, but I wanted to let people know what happened on the front end. We can't talk about transparency and then go and try and
Exactly.
slide something
Exactly.
through.
Exactly. You can't do that.
So this
no.
is what happened. Nobody else would have covered this but us, because probably nobody else
Yeah.
noticed it on the
Yeah.
agenda. I just wanted to go there.
Yeah.
So, and then the other big thing that happened at the city meeting was announced, and I got this fun piece of paperwork here, that we got an additional downtown improvement grant for 2026. The city's gotten several of these, or I don't know if they got several. They've got at least one more, I know, in the past. And this is to help improve things on downtown.
Would that
some
be
more.
able to be
So,
used on the parking lot that you guys have been working on? Could you put it toward that, or does this have to be for specific?
It has specific. Yeah, actually, good thing I brought my paperwork. I'll give you the list. It can fix awnings downtown, repainting of buildings, removal of vinyl or aluminum siding, brick repair, window and door replacement, signage, exterior lighting, and roof repairs and sprinkler systems.
Okay, so this can be used on privately owned businesses.
Businesses.
Where?
Downtown is the word they use, which to us means around the square. So it doesn't go out to Madison Street, or it is a state grant, and they
So
limit
it
to
would
the downtown area.
that's considered downtown. So what is Madison Street? Uptown
Uptown, East Town. I don't know what town it is.
or just not town?
It's in town. It's in town. So, but so it's a grant from the state. It's a 25% match. So both the city and the downtown business owners will put some money in this and get a much bigger return, bigger bang for their buck for what they
Yeah,
do.
but
I
we've
think
already gotten a grant like this once. I know the east
We
side
have.
of the square had a lot of stuff done to
a
it.
lot of work was done there already
Yeah.
with one of these. I believe the numbers are, I think, between the city and the downtown business owners, we're going to put $150,000 into improvements. And for that 150, we're going to get an additional 450,000 from the state. So you're going to get $600,000 worth of improvements.
Okay, so basically
150,
you got business owners that are up there that it's a struggle in small brick and mortar businesses now anyway. So when something like this comes in and it can be used to help private businesses, take a step up.
Yeah.
That's some good stuff.
It is. In our square, I mean, if you go down there this time of year, especially, they could shoot one of them Hallmark movies down there. You got all the different color buildings, you got the
Yeah.
lights and the
Last
the whole
year in
deal.
that big
So,
snow, I stopped and I just took a picture of Coffee Break
Yeah.
and posted it, and it looked like a little the way it was
Looked
all
like a
fixed up.
postcard.
Yeah, it looked like a little postcard there.
Yeah.
But you can
So-
do that all the way around the square now.
Yeah, you can. So anything to keep that momentum going is good. And the fact that the state's covering a big part of it's even better. So
Well, we're really covering ourselves.
we're
but we
covering
don't wanna talk
ourselves.
about
That's our taxes coming
That's
back.
right,
But
that's
at least
right.
they're coming back
Yeah,
to us,
exactly,
and they're not
exactly.
going to Tullahoma.
That's
So
right,
they
that's
could have
right.
gone to Tullahoma. So just saying. Wednesday, I told you I did stuff every day this
Yeah,
week.
you did.
Wednesday, I went to the 911 board meeting. I don't go to that one very often. Just one note of interest there, and I didn't take notes. I'm remembering this off the top of my head. I think these numbers are close, but they told us that there were 435 new addresses added in Bedford County this year so far, and that even for them was an early estimate because the month wasn't out. 65% of those in the city, so that kind of gives you an idea of what the growth was in Bedford County and Shelbyville over the past year. And then the other big thing going on in 911 is they are building a new facility, and it is, if the weather holds, they're going to be ready by April. That thing has popped up out of the ground in no time. So I drove by it Friday, and it's looking pretty impressive. And that thing is a bunker. They said, I think a F4 direct hit, and they'll just keep right on going, won't even know it hit them. So
Okay.
it's a lot of concrete. So Thursday, we had another meeting of the Shelbyville City Employee Benefits Committee. We were presented a fine presentation by somebody from the state about TCRS. This is the state retirement plan that many, many local governments are on, hundreds, they told us, I believe. And we are looking to possibly switch over to that. Part of the reasoning, particularly in first responders, police and fire, if you put out, as we were told by our HR director, if you put out an advertisement and say you need a police officer, you need a firefighter, if you get somebody with experience come in, the first question they're going to ask you before they fill out the application is, do you have TCRS? Because they've already got time built up under this system.
Right.
If you don't have it, a lot of times they won't even fill out your application. So this is kind of a recruiting tool. The numbers they gave us, everything was preliminary. It sounded pretty good. The city currently contributes 7% of payroll to just a traditional 401k program. TCRS had two options. Their traditional just pension plan started at 6.9% the first year, but like all pensions, it was variable. It depended on a bunch of crazy actuarial math that nobody knows but them. So that one had the possibility that it could go up in the future or down, or it could go all over the place. They have a second one, a hybrid plan, which is a mix of a pension or 401k. That one would be require 9% from the city, so that would be 2% more than currently paying, but that 9% is guaranteed for the life of the plan. You don't ever have to worry about a 15% year. You don't ever have to worry about anything like that. And in that one, the employee's getting both a pension and a traditional 401k where they can be making money on the market. So we'll see what direction that goes. It was a really good presentation. We'll see. Lynchburg, which is one of our very close neighbors, they recently moved into TCRS. So, and then while I was at that meeting, another meeting went on that I was not able to attend, normally am able to, and that was the school board meeting. And we got the unexpected announcement that our director of schools, Dr. Garrett, is going to be retiring at the end of this school year. So that was big news in the county.
She's been here for 5 years.
5 years, has done a great job. They posted some of the stats. I mean, the schools have improved dramatically while she's been here. So that'll be a tough job to fill. And then just not to go backwards, but I also wanted to mention while we're talking about people leaving in the county, I believe it was at Tuesday's meetings that Commissioner Greg Vick announced that he's not returning next year. So I've told some people it must be something in the water in the county. There's a lot of people that have pre-announced that they're not coming back next year. So,
and then, of course, Rhonda Clanton is retiring.
Rhonda Clanton is retiring at the end of February. Our county mayor is not coming back. I'm trying to think. I think there's more, but I've lost track. But there's a lot of turnover about sheriff. Yeah, we're gonna have a new sheriff next year. As we also posted this week, Monday begins election season in Bedford County. Monday, you can go down December the 22nd. You can go down to the basement of the courthouse annex, pick up your paperwork, go gather your signatures, and run for any of those county offices that are open. So there's going to be a lot of activity in the world.
We're going to have some turnover.
There's definitely, because a lot of people are not coming back. So so it's going to be a big year next year in local politics. So with that, I've covered, I think, everything, and I made fairly good time. Everything I went to this week, I was somewhere every day doing something.
Yeah.
So
You'll be glad to sit down this week, and
I will be glad to sit in my lazy boy and watch football of some kind if I have the right streaming service. I heard on the sports show.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it may not be on the regular TV.
Yep.
So yeah. So
well, let's take a break here, and then we're going to come back and talk about
what's
the
upcoming.
upcoming weeks
Yes.
and where we'll be.
Yes, where we'll be.
Yeah.
Watching football.
Exactly. We'll be right back.
Now available at Auto Collection. We currently have 2 excellent vehicles in stock, both with clean titles and in great condition. 2015 Ford Escape, 119,000 miles. 2021 Nissan Altima, 60,000 miles. Whether you're looking for a dependable SUV or a modern, fuel-efficient sedan, these vehicles offer quality, reliability, and value. Visit us at Auto Collection 319 Madison Street, Shelbyville. Call us today, 931-492-4663. Schedule your test drive and let us help you find the right vehicle for your needs.
Get the results you want with the personalized service you deserve at Dennis Young Insurance Agency.
As a local independent agency, we offer coverage from several different companies, including Erie. So whether it's auto, home, life, personal, or business, we can find the right coverage to meet your unique insurance needs. And with a rate lock advantage, your rates won't go up as long as you do not change drivers, autos, or addresses. Contact us at Dennis Young Insurance Agency, insuring Shelbyville and surrounding areas since 1988.
Ready to upgrade your space? At Extreme Flooring in Shelbyville, we've got you covered. From carpet and hardwood to luxury vinyl, tile, and waterproof flooring. We also handle kitchen backsplash and bath remodels. Our design and sales team will help you find the perfect fit with trusted brands like Dreamweaver, Shaw, Mohawk, Dull Tile, and Tile Bar. And their certified installers make sure everything looks just right. Stop by and see us at 225 Colorado Boulevard in Shelbyville, or give us a call at 931-735-6700. Financing is available. Schedule your consultation today at extreme-flooring.com. Let's make your home amazing.
All righty. Welcome back into the weekend wrap-up, the news that matters. Josh, there's not a whole lot going on coming up except festivities.
There's a large guy in a red suit going to slide down some chimneys, coming behind some reindeer and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So for the next at least 2 weeks and probably 3 weeks, we won't be here. So
Yeah.
we're going to take a break. The government's taking a bit of a
government
break.
is,
There are
and-
no county meetings on the agenda for the next 3 weeks, except they have currently still on their website. They show a planning meeting this Tuesday. I will be shocked if they have a meeting. I've not seen
Yeah,
an
it's gonna
agenda
happen.
or an announcement. So I don't think they're going to. I'll keep an eye out, though.
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
We're always lurking, Josh. We're here.
Just
we
in
are
case,
here. If
just in
something
case,
happens,
we'll be around.
we will be watching. We will be
Yeah.
posting stuff on our Facebook page and
We
on the
will.
website.
Yeah, we'll post
If
news.
anything happens news-wise, we will put out breaking news when it happens.
We will.
I'm hoping we don't have any, but you never know.
You never know. And there are a couple meetings coming up, and I will be at all of these. This Tuesday, there actually is what's going to be a brief meeting of the Shelbyville Power Board, and I will go to that. I think they're going to possibly make their decision on the PFAS chemicals. If they do, I'll post a quick paragraph or two to let people know what happened there. Tuesday, December 30th, the city council will be having a study session. I don't know what's on that agenda because it hasn't even been made yet. It's that far
Okay.
off. And then Thursday, January 8th, the city council will have their regularly scheduled meeting. I'll obviously be at that one as well.
Not a lot happening.
No, I don't feel like there's going to be a lot. Now we will I will say at the December 30th meeting, and we weren't able to get all the pieces together to have our experts in yet, but just briefly, I'm going to address the senior property tax freeze again.
Right.
Just kind of let the council know, the steps I've taken, who I've talked with and whatnot. The goal will then be the following month. We want to hear from our county trustee, who has the biggest workload out of this. They're the ones that actually process the paperwork for the tax freeze. We want to hear from our property assessor. They're involved in this as well. This adds to their workload. And then in my conversation with Rhonda on Friday, she's hoping to bring somebody in from the state property assessor's office to also, just from the state standpoint, explain how this works, what's involved, the steps, pros, cons, negatives, positives. and just get their outlook on it as well. So we're not rushing into anything. We want to make sure that we're intentional, that we do our research. I did speak, one of the gentlemen I spoke with, I won't mention a county, but there was a particular county property assessor I spoke with this week, and he's very much doesn't like the tax freeze program, and he was upset. His county commission voted on it and enacted it, never even talked to him. So we're not going to do that. We're going to talk to everybody involved, try to put everybody's heads together. If we do this, we want to do it, in a wise way. We want to do it in a way that doesn't cause a lot of chaos. We'd like to look at other people. That's the good thing about this. It's been around since 2007. Look at the other people that have done it the last 18 years, find out what they did to, lighten the workload on their people and do this the right way. So that will be the goal. So, and in between that, I'm gonna eat a lot of Christmassy food and stuff.
Yeah, I think that's probably.
That's-
I've already got my mind on that.
You're
Josh.
already thinking on the food. You're already on the
absolutely,
food. So
absolutely.
not many meetings. So yeah. So take a break. We'll report stuff on Facebook if it's needed. But
And we're always here. We're always here.
always lurking.
That's right.
Always
Always lurking. Everybody have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We'll see you when we get back. And we'll also, for breaking news, we will be on Facebook, and not us, but our posts will be there.
There will be stuff there.
So be watching for that. Everybody have a